Welcome, Oiler Nation. This is Deven Stover here with head women's basketball coach Michele Durand on Oiler Outlook. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you, Deven?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Thank you for joining us. So we want to start with last night's game. So your team fought hard, but there were moments where things didn't go quite as planned. Reflecting on the game, what do you feel were the key takeaways for the team?
I thought we hung in there in the first half. We didn't have the best start. Give credit to Thomas Moore for that. They were getting the ball in the paint a little more than I like. And we had good shots. We just weren't putting them in the basket.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we talked a lot about our defense at halftime, rebounding, and obviously I think we came out and responded really well.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And your team always seems to have a strong identity, speaking of that, whether it's grit, teamwork, or focus. How do you see this year's group defining their identity, especially after a game like last night?
Well, I think it all goes back to our seniors and our leadership. We have really good leadership with those four girls. They've had a great experience. Kate obviously is a grad student, so it's her fifth year. So, I think we follow their lead quite a bit, and they're pretty gritty, and they seem to be confident in what they're doing, and we kind of go as they go.
Absolutely. I love seeing it too. And it's clear that culture plays like a huge role in your program. So speaking of identity on the court, one of the things that stands out is your team's ability to bounce back after tough games. So how do you encourage your players to maintain focus and confidence after games like that?
Well, I think we got a lot of confidence from the second half in our defense. So we focus a lot on defense and keeping us in games, especially when we're not shooting well. So I think they've kind of bought into that identity. I think they've also bought into the idea that we have lots of players on our team who can contribute, even when maybe like Kate didn't have her best game last night, which is unusual for her. But others stepped up and like Alyssa had probably her best game of the season last night. So they kind of are confident in each other that they'll, somebody's going to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust is a big standpoint in games like that. What's one area where you've seen your team grow the most, whether that's on the court or in their mental approach to the game?
Well, twofold. Off the court, I think we really bought in from a culture standpoint into everybody contributing and just knowing their role. We do a lot of communicating with them and really buying into their roles and not worrying about who's starting or looking at their minutes all the time. So I think they've really grown that way. On the court, we've gotten a lot better defensively, and I think we've rebounded the ball pretty well, and we've gotten a lot better.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow's matchup with Hillsdale, what are some key challenges that they pose as a team? Are there specific players or strategies that you're keeping an eye on?
They're really good. They had a tough game with Ashland last night, but pretty much everybody has tough games with Ashland. So, but they're really good. We're almost identical type of teams, I feel like. They have some really good shooters. Caitlin Splain on the perimeter. She's a very, very good three-point shooter. Their point guard, McDonald, scores a lot for them, and they're a very strong leader. They have a good post player this year that I think can match up with Alyssa pretty well. So, I think the keys of the game, we've really got to prevent them from getting a lot of threes. So we got to do a better job on our perimeter defense. And like always, we got to rebound the ball. I think it's going to, we've got to, our best players have to play tomorrow.
Absolutely. And I know there's some family ties between Miss Callahan as well when I did my interview with her. But what's one thing you're hoping to see from your team tomorrow that maybe you didn't see as much last night?
A stronger start. We have to have a stronger start. If we start like we did last night, we're going to be in a hole pretty quickly with Hillsdale. For sure. So do you think tempo will play a significant role in this game, especially given Hillsdale's style of play? I think so. But we both kind of like to push the ball. I think we've really got to push the ball. I think it helped us a little bit that we were home last night and they were on the road to Ashland, so hopefully they're a little tired today. But I think the tempo is going to be, we've got to push it.
That'll be interesting to see. And as you prepare for these back-to-back games, how do you balance focusing on each individual opponent with the bigger picture of the season in mind as well?
We try not to look at the bigger picture right now, actually. We just try to focus on the next opponent, and the next opponent's Hillsdale. And, we do a lot more mental preparation today than we'll do physical because they need a break. So they've got to come in locked in, watching the film, and then on the court when we're doing stuff, they got to be locked in.
Yes, they do. After a night like last night and heading into a game like Hillsdale, what's the biggest lesson you've learned as a coach that you try to pass on to your team?
That's a great question. I think, last night there were a lot of positives, so we're going to focus on those things, and they can take those things away going into the next one. I think they're very confident in what we've done this year, so we really just try to focus on all the great things that we've accomplished so far and the things that we know we can do in this game, and we try to go out and execute those. But I don't know if there's any lessons other than, you just got to take each game as they come. You can't really look forward, and you can't look back a lot. You got to look at, right what's in front of you, and, your brain and your body have to be where your feet are. I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah, that's good life advice too.
Yeah.
And then last question for you, Coach. Moving forward, what excites you most about this team and their potential for the remainder of the season?
I've been excited about them all year. They're just great young women. I love them off the court and on the court. I'm super excited to for tomorrow's game. I think it's going to be a big challenge. I love games like this.
Absolutely.
I love to play in games where it matters, and it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
And I just want to see their fight. I've seen it all year. I'll see it again tomorrow, I'm sure. And hopefully we can come out with something special by the end of the year. We'll
Absolutely.
see.
Well, we appreciate you joining us today, Coach, and we're excited to see your team and how they perform tomorrow.
Thanks, Deven.
Of course. So this has been Deven Stover and then head coach Michele Durand here on Oiler Outlook.